than a little help from the ref.
If you heard, we changed our club name.
Yeah.
Tottenham Hot VAR.
Yeah, very good. An extremely lucky win.
I don't know how we managed to.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Yahoo Footballing Weekly with me, Yahoo columnist Neil Humphreys.
And me, Yahoo editor Chia Keong, and we welcome our favourite guest back, Daryl.
Good day, gentlemen.
Hey.
And I just want to qualify that we actually like all of our guests the same. They are like our children because we want them to come back.
Yes.
We have no favourites.
Yeah.
This is becoming your second home, Daryl. It has to be said. You practically live here.
We always come here after interesting Spurs results.
Yes.
Interesting weekends in the Premier League.
Yep.
Let's see.
We'll get to that. But first, before we do, I want to thank you all again. Every week, our inboxes
Wonderful responses.
getting crazy. Instagram, TikTok. You should see the comments I get on Instagram, let alone anything else, but just Instagram alone. TikTok, Instagram. What else are we on? Facebook, Twitter.
Facebook.
Just today, coming in on the MRT, right? I was just about to change trains at Outram Park. Teenager, he's wearing a Bayern Munich shirt. This just happened. He said, are you Neil? I said, yes. He said, I listen to the podcast every week. Thank you, Mr. Bayern Munich fan. And he's a Holgang fan.
Oh, poor
told me that.
Holgang. Poor Holgang, those six straight defeats.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. But yes, he's also a Holgang fan. So thank you for that. He did say he loves my articles and the podcast. He did say the columns first. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Mr.
He said, come and get me, please.
That's just a plug, all right? To read my columns every week on his wonderful Yahoo platform.
Please do.
Right, let's get into it. What should we do first? His favourite topic, Arsenal. Hi, Keong, where are we with Arsenal?
Well, we just had that 2-2 draw at Anfield.
Yep.
Wonderful match though. Arsenal took a 2-0 lead. Liverpool came back. So now Arsenal are like 6 points ahead of Manchester City, but we've played a game more. So they still have to play at Etihad.
Yep.
So everybody is kind of saying that Arsenal's gonna choke again. Obviously, you feel the same way, right? So Man City's gonna beat them at Etihad, and then the title is in their hands. Man City will overtake them. It's getting a bit too much, isn't it? It's like.
Well, you know what I think. I'll get to what I think. I wrote a column about it this week. But what do you think first? Before we know what the Spurs man will think.
I admit that at Anfield they sort of like choked a bit. I mean, the second half wasn't well played by them in any manner. But it doesn't mean that they will start to choke right now. You just need a quick response after the minor setback. They got West Ham and Southampton coming out. I'm sure
West Ham is an absolute banker. I mean, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, put the flat on Arsenal. Really.
That's why. So I think they can, and then obviously they have the Man City, Chelsea, Newcastle stretch, which is tough, yes. But I mean, the we should give them all the benefit of the doubt that they've been doing so well, like 2/3 of the season already. There's no reason to say that they cannot bounce back from this minor setback and continue the thing.
This is the Arsenal podcast.
Come on, well, you're wearing a bloody Spurs shirt.
I watched the game. It was on Sunday, right? I watched the game,
of course.
and I enjoyed the game.
Great game, by the way.
Gabriel Martinelli.
Yes.
So he put Arsenal in front, and then the second goal he put the cross in, and then Jesus rose on Easter Sunday, headed it in.
Yes, nice hit.
Right, and I was like, oh my goodness,
saving that one.
Yeah,
he's been saving that all week. He thinks he's delivered the line of the year. No one has ever made the Jesus Easter connection before. Nobody.
And I thought, that's it. Arsenal are gonna win this.
Yes.
But then Liverpool came back into the game. Mo Salah. And then I thought, yes, this is when Arsenal crumble. And then
miss another penalty.
And then the penalty, and then Salah missed the penalty. The great angle from behind Salah. And you
Bad
can
miss,
see,
by the way.
Yeah, terrible.
The same way he missed the previous penalty.
But even after that, Liverpool still came on strong. And I think Trent had a tough game defensively, but he did set up the equalizer for Firmino. So to all the haters out there, I think maybe Trent should just play right winger or like centre mid or something like that.
Well, he was taken to the cleaners for most of the game by Martinelli, wasn't he? It was embarrassing.
Eventually, Klopp had to tuck him in
Yeah,
into centre midfield to prevent him being overrun. So
So towards the end, I mean, Liverpool could have won it, but Arsenal hung on for the point. And now, as a Spurs fan, I was always thinking that Arsenal will collapse, but they haven't so far. And it's getting too close. It's too close. We have like 6 games left.
Well, of all the columns I've written in recent weeks, this one seems to be getting the most responses on Instagram, which is interesting. I wrote, and I stand by this, I think it's getting out of hand. I think it's bordering on the response to a decent draw at a stadium that Arsenal haven't won at since 2012, considering how the match could have gone. Their second half resilience showed the complete opposite. Their first half performance showed the complete opposite of choking. I mean, Liverpool came back. That's fine.
I was scared that it was like going to be a 5-0 defeat by Liverpool.
But I'm staggered by this. Firstly, it's a 6-point lead. Even Pep Guardiola said, I'd rather be in Arsenal's position than mine. Secondly, we're assuming that Manchester City will not drop any more points. I think they will.
They will.
Because Pep Guardiola will turn into Doc Brown from Back to the Future, as he always does, once the Champions League gets going. He will start second-guessing himself. He will start overthinking it. He will prioritise the Champions League. That was why the man was hired, not to win the league. That's got to play a part. They've still got the FA Cup. 3 tournaments. Arsenal have just the one. They can focus everything on this. They have only lost 3 games all season. They have still got the best away record in the Premier League. 35 points from 15 games, 9 clean sheets. In other words, there is literally no evidence. This is not hyperbole. This is not blinkered tribalism. I've got no dog in this fight. I'm just going with the evidence. They have not choked once all season. When did they lose? They lost those 3 games. One against Man U, when Eric Ten Hag, they had that honeymoon period with him. Second one, Everton, the Sean Dyche first game bounce. And the third one was Man City, and there's no shame in losing to Man City. So I think it's over, it's done, it's Manchester City's. I think it's extraordinarily disrespectful to Arsenal.
I agree. I think Mikel Arteta has shown that, I mean, he was sort of like a laughing stock the season before, but this season, every decision he made has been astute and correct. So, there's no reason to say that, we always say this final stretch will be super stressful. People might easily make the wrong second guess and make the wrong decision. But we should always give the league leaders the benefit of the doubt, isn't it? It's like, they've shown throughout the season they have been such a well-run, very strong, mentally strong team. I don't see why.
And what is strange to me, I didn't even see this at this point in the season with Leicester back in 2016. Now, I know the obvious counter-argument to that. The Manchester City of today wasn't chasing Leicester. So yes, I take that point. But Arsenal have a much better squad than Leicester did, have a much better record than Leicester did, have have far many, no disrespect to Leicester, superior players to what Leicester had at that time. You mentioned your man there, Ricky Martin. Martinelli, fantastic. Partey, fantastic. Saka, fantastic. There's so many excellent players playing at the peak of their powers right now. So, look, I'm not saying Man City will win the league or Arsenal will win the league. I have no idea at this point.
That's the greatness of
and we should be celebrating that rather than just this sudden Tekka and Arsenal. They blew it. It's over. It's done.
It's so black and white. One step back. They'll sure lose the thing.
Yeah, exactly. And do we want that?
No.
Do we want City winning another one? Do you want Man City?
Yes. What do you mean? Yes. After all we have discussed, which I agree.
So tribal.
Oh dear. Well, as always, let us know what you think.
Enough of Arsenal.
All right, let's go to your mob.
Let's go, mob.
Tottenham, what's happening?
So it was a hard-fought 2-1 win for Spurs over Brighton. Hard-fought thanks to VAR.
With more than a little help from the referee.
If you heard, we changed our club name.
Yeah.
Tottenham Hot VAR.
Yeah, very good. An extremely lucky win.
I don't know how we managed to win. Like Mitoma scored, Welbeck scored. Saicedo hit the post. Yeah.
You were rubbish in that game.
But Son, great goal to open the scoring.
It was a great goal.
100 Premier League goals, and then somehow we managed to get through, and then Harry Kane scored what turned out to be the winner. I really don't know how we got the 3 points.
I mean, Spurs are like, you see the Spurs like what the team, and then you see Harry Kane and you see Son Heung-min is like, for so many, I think about 5 years they've been playing together, and they've been
7.
providing so many good memories for fans, even for neutral fans like me.
Yeah.
Do you think they will still carry on for another season?
I think one more season definitely, but of course
definitely.
not another 5 years.
Sure not.
I think another 3 seasons.
No, Kane has broken the club record. He's broken the England international record, most number of goals. There is no reason now for him to hang around.
He needs to overtake Alan Shearer.
He can
just
do that
win
somewhere.
over
He can do that
Man U,
at Manchester,
with
Liverpool. Yeah,
But
but
then,
Man U's
okay,
a
so
great
if we talk about like Kane to Man U, how much will Spurs be asking for? Daniel Levy will ask for 100 million, which doesn't make sense for United to pay, and then you just get stuck.
Pricing me.
Firstly, I think
for
they would.
self-
I think
Pricing me out
Man
for
U
selfish
would
reasons.
pay it. They'd pay an extortionate amount of money to have a proven striker like him. This is the thing about Spurs that I wanted to ask you. Right? They were crap against Brighton, but that's who Tottenham are.
No.
So this thing about Tottenham, they've got this delusion of grandeur that they've had for many, many years. I was back in England, obviously, recently, and I was talking to my father. Now, my father is a West Ham supporter for 60 years, and he was talking to his friend, who is a Tottenham supporter for 60 years. So they've seen everything.
Yeah.
My dad says to his friend, the difference between Tottenham and West Ham is West Ham fans know they're crap. They've always been crap. And they know they've always been crap. Tottenham fans think they're good when they're not. They've won nothing. They've won no league title since 1961. They won a Mickey Mouse Cup in 2008, was it?
Yeah,
Right.
One more
2008.
step in the back.
No decent
Without
trophy.
step in
And
the
yet
heart.
they've got this idea somehow that
One more step in
Antonio
the heart.
Conte is they're too good for Antonio Conte. This is the thing that I think upsets Spurs. We can get into Conte. But
Oh, no.
everything Conte said in that takedown was true. I know he was trying to engineer an exit. I
Yeah.
know that. But nothing Conte said about Tottenham's mentality, their culture was wrong. You are an underachieving club with delusions of grandeur. You've won nothing and you look like winning nothing.
But to counter that, Spurs always try to be the best that they can, right? So I think
So does every
in
other
a-
club.
No, but West
So
Ham,
does
they know
Hull
they're
United.
best.
So does Ballastia.
Yeah,
so
but,
does every
but do
club.
they prove it with the results and the players they get? Like they don't. Like Spurs always try and get into the top 4. Always try to battle it out whether they can get players young, cheaper, and then try and sell them on, and then
Okay.
now hold on to the best players. Like Spurs will try anything to compete. So that's what we want.
And how did that work out in the trophy cabinet?
I mean, it was
In
close.
the last 30 years.
It was close. Then we met Liverpool in the Champions League final and all
okay.
this. So it's like we've tried our best to compete and to be up there with the best. You know, and the examples you bring up, like West Ham, you know, I think they've also tried, but at a, lower level. Europa League,
West Ham know where they
Conference
are.
League.
You are the Everton of the South, and Everton are the Tottenham of the North.
Everton
you think you
are
are
just
far
poor.
better than you actually are with your franchise,
I'll
your
need to
legacy,
check
your
with the
history. But
Everton.
even Everton have won more stuff than the
Yeah,
Tottenham have.
but if we go modern day, Spurs are still trying to compete. Like
So
where
who do you think-
Everton tried, but they didn't get it
So
right. in
why
terms of
did they
players.
not fully support Conte? Everything Conte said at the end was also
Yeah.
what he said at the beginning.
But I mean, Spurs did try to support in terms of signings, right? They did try to
Some.
bring in the signings.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as the manager, you're not going to get everything you want
No.
on the list. So Conte also has to take it on the chin and then work with what he can. He got so frustrated and he just let it all out. And, after
So,
that,
yeah.
you had to sack him.
That's the thing I don't like about Conte. When the going gets tough, somehow he's
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Try to weigh it
Yeah.
out. I mean, I don't like this kind of managers who blame the players' attitude, try to engineer a way to leave team after 2 or 3 years, and he's still not up to his standard.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you are here to manage a club, and that means the players. If the players' attitudes are bad, you are supposed to be the one trying to change the thing. But he just make a complaint, and then next thing you know.
Yeah. We all know he was engineering his exit.
Yeah,
we
I
know
don't
that.
like it.
No, I don't like it either. But this is what I think happened to Conte. Tell me if you disagree, right? There was no other jobs available for him at that moment in time. So he took that as a stopgap job. Remember, he was offered the job before
Yep.
and turned
Yeah,
it down.
in the summer.
Expecting a better job to come along. It didn't. So he takes this job thinking, okay, worst case, I get them into the top 4. I cement my credentials as a top coach because he's been successful just about everywhere. Then he gets into the second season. He realizes, I can't fix this. But more importantly, he only cares about himself. He cares about his reputation.
Yes,
He
exactly.
knows the longer he stays at Tottenham, the less chance he'll have of getting a better job. So he cuts and runs. I don't disagree with that. He cuts and runs. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's what he did.
Yeah.
Of course it's wrong. He knows the longer he stays at Tottenham, he tarnishes his own brand. Right? He starts, it's a spiral to the bottom,
Yeah.
and then he's no longer in the frame for the Real. Well, he's not going to go to Spain, but the top Italian jobs, the top whatever. That's why I think he did it. And it's wrong. Of course it was wrong.
Yeah.
I agree with you. So, but that still leaves crap Tottenham with no manager. So what happens now?
We got Ryan Mason.
Oh,
So like Stellini and De Zerbi were sent off.
from the bench.
I
Yes.
don't know what
Next
happened
season,
also.
next season. You want Pochettino back? You want Nagelsmann? Who else? Who else do you hope to get?
Yeah, I think can we just go for Nagelsmann?
Nagelsmann.
You can have him.
Chelsea. We'll fight with Chelsea. No?
Chelsea. Chelsea, can they just get Conte back?
Nagelsmann is still one more decent club spell away
Yeah.
from convincing me he's not an Andre Villas-Boas type. You know what I mean? Who's
Yeah,
young,
I agree,
enterprising European coach, does particularly well with a particular club for a season or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's it. He needs to do it one more time.
It's
to
like that
convince-
kid that does very well at school and then like gets the best job fresh out of uni and
Exactly.
everything. But then like the reality of life hits him.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a nice.
And
that's
then
very
he's
good.
like, I don't
Nice
want to be
analogy.
doing this. What is the meaning of
Are we
life?
talking from
And then
personal
he-
experience
and then
here
he-
or what? Is this
and then-
autobiographical
And then he
or
goes out and does yoga, becomes a like yogi teacher and all
Look,
that.
I enjoy my yoga.
Dhaka rally.
Just
and
because
all.
I enjoy my yoga. No, I'm just kidding. All right, that's
But now,
good.
nice
Go on.
segue into Chelsea.
Oh,
Oh yes, welcome to the mad world of Chelsea.
joke. I think Chelsea were a joke. I wrote the column for you. I banged out the column at London, at Heathrow Airport because I was just that annoyed about Chelsea. Here's the thing I want to say to Chelsea supporters, but also to Liverpool fans and Manchester United fans. This is where I agree with Gary Neville. You know, he's been criticised recently for seeming to support the Qatari bid for Man U over the British consortium bid, right? And everyone jumps on the human rights. I agree with all of that, by the way. But this is what Chelsea need to think about, and particularly Man U. Unless you get a state-run owner who don't care about anything other than the PR exercise, the sports washing, and so on, where money is no object, you're left with an American-type consortium. They are only there for one reason: to make money. That's it. That's the only reason Fenway Sports Group is there. They happen to be quite good owners, but let's be honest, they jumped straight in with the European Super League. They wanted it. You have to understand the mindset of their country of origin. To them, franchises are rewards for successful careers. You know how it works in America. Big businessmen, billionaires, they buy into the NFL or they buy into the NBA.
That's the part we play the Shane McMahon music. Here comes
Right,
the money.
right? They buy into it as a reward just to make
Yeah.
even more money. That's why they don't like relegation. That's why they want to close shop of Super Leagues and so on.
Right.
This is what you're seeing now at Chelsea. They don't know anything about football. They care even less. They've got a whole Ted Lasso knowledge of football. It's money, money, money. They will throw as much at it as they want. They don't care how many players they buy. They don't care how many managers they sack. It's only about making money. And for that reason, I can't see why this Chelsea thing is doomed to be anything other than a failure.
And talking about making money, they already spent more than $500 million on
right,
player
600
signings,
million,
and now
yeah.
they're like 11 or 12 in the place. And now they got back. They sacked Graham Potter, whom I mean was out of his depth.
Yeah.
But you gave him a chance. You didn't even give him a chance in setting up a proper team.
Correct. You hire the wrong manager for the
Yeah.
wrong club, but then still don't give him the time or the resources to at least try to make it work.
And now you made work yourself way back to a previous coach who comes in, Frank Lampard. You expect him to be like Jose Mourinho the second time around. It's like,
But it would just
Really?
be,
As I wrote in the
short
column,
term,
right? Frank Lampard replaced the man who replaced the man who replaced Frank Lampard. It's ridiculous.
But now Lampard gets his chance at redemption, right? In the
Oh,
Champions
don't-
League. That's
don't-
it.
that
He's
is
going up against
fairy
Real.
tale,
Yeah,
no.
that is honestly, sometimes the sports media,
That's the Ted
it's
Lasso
like it's
story.
written by children. Honestly, it's like primary school analysis. This idea that he's going to do a Roberto Di Matteo
Yeah.
Ted
is
Lasso.
nonsense. I mean, he can't even do it. I mean, Di Matteo's the comparison because he's a club legend who came back near the end of the season, interim
Yeah.
coach, and wins the Champions League. Completely different set of circumstances.
Yeah.
Di Matteo had a relatively stable squad.
And a good squad. Yeah.
Lampard's inherited an absolute basket case. And Lampard stop the press, has failed everywhere. At every club he has been at as a manager. Where did he succeed?
Derby County.
He didn't succeed there. He didn't even get promoted.
Yeah.
Didn't even get promoted. So I don't know. And I think it's kind of sad for Frank Lampard that he's become this almost cheerleader for hire, a club legend for hire for the money men of Chelsea. I can't see anything but failure. But let us know what you think. More importantly of all, is Lampard the right man? Who's going to take over his mob? Can Arsenal hang on and win the title? Yes. Send all of your comments and queries to
Yahoo Southeast Asia on YouTube, Yahoo SG, Yahoo_MY on Twitter, and Yahoo SEA on TikTok.
I'm laughing at his cheering. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all again very soon in part 2, where we'll be talking all things Singaporean football. See you there.